I just can't even believe that these words are leaving my mouth. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, or if this is your first time here, welcome to my channel. As you guys can tell by the title, this is definitely a different video than I've ever filmed before, and this is a big moment for my life. This is the big announcement that I referenced back in my Get to Know Me video that I posted not too long ago, and this is the thing that I'm really looking forward to in 2020, so I guess it's just time to say it out loud, and that is that I am pregnant with twins. Twins, I know. So this video is obviously my announcement video, but I'm also going to go into how I found out that I was pregnant and how I found out that I was going to be having twins, which obviously was the bigger surprise of the two. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Obviously with this comes a change to the content on my channel, which I'm nervous about because I just recently reached my milestone of 500 subscribers, and thus far you guys have been subscribing to me for college content and to see my life, and of course that's not going to change. I'm still going to be going to school. I'm still going to be the person that I've always been, but I'm just going to be adding more content to my channel in regards to me being pregnant and obviously vlogging this, and then when the babies come, obviously vlogging that. So if you guys would love to stick around, I would hate to see you unsubscribe, and if you guys aren't subscribed already, I would really appreciate it if you did, if you guys want to follow along with my story. Like I said, I'm still going to be posting the same content I always have, just adding some new content to it. I'm going to be doing an entire life update for you guys, to update you guys as far as school goes and all those kinds of decisions and my channel and all those kinds of things, so stay tuned for that video. But I would hate to see you guys leave. I would love to see my numbers only grow from here as you guys follow along with my twin pregnancy that I'm about to embark on. So yeah, let's get into how I found out I was pregnant. Oh, I also will be filming a first trimester update. I will go into how far along I am and all that kind of stuff in a little bit. So I'm not going to lie here, this was a big surprise. This was not a planned pregnancy, but I would hate to call it a unwanted pregnancy, because I knew in my heart of hearts, if anything did ever happen between Harris and I, and if I was ever to get pregnant, that we would be completely okay. We'd be able to do it. We are at a great position in our relationship, and I feel very secure in that. So when I did find out I was pregnant, I really was not freaked out in any way. I found out on June 7th that I was pregnant. It was 2 days after my missed period, and honestly, I really didn't think I was pregnant. I had felt completely normal. If you guys have been watching my vlogs, you would have seen I went to Gov Ball on June 1st, and if I would have known I was pregnant, I would not have gone to Gov Ball and stayed out and partied and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, looking back now, that was not great, but it's alright. I can't change what I did before I knew I was pregnant. As long as I could just change and not make those decisions after I knew, I was okay with myself. So yeah, I had no inkling that I was going to be pregnant. My period has been extremely irregular the past few months. I was on birth control, and I did come off once I changed insurance companies, and I was going to have to find a new doctor under my insurance. So I came off my birth control to give my body a break and to finish out the rest of the semester, and I was going to find a doctor once I moved home, which was in May, which of course was the month that Harris and I conceived. So June 5th was when I was supposed to be getting my period, and that did not come, and I was not shocked. Like I said, had an irregular period the past few months, so I was just going to keep track of it and keep an eye out for my period. And June 7th, I woke up and I texted my two best friends, Casey and Julia, and I just said that maybe I should just take a test and see. I didn't really know when I was ovulating because my cycle was so irregular, so I didn't know if Harris and I had sex when I was ovulating, so I just felt better safe than sorry. So I took my first pregnancy test, which I saved the 2 pregnancy tests that I took. The first one I took was just a first response with the pink dye, and it was the ones where you get the results in a minute. So I took the test and I brushed my teeth, and I kind of forgot that I'd even taken the test. And after I brushed my teeth, I lifted my sweatshirt up because I had put the test underneath my sweatshirt so I didn't have to see it until it was time. And more than a minute had gone by, so I picked up my sweatshirt, and that is when I saw the test, and I saw 2 very distinct pink lines. I will insert a picture right now of what the test looked like that day, and then I'll show it to you now. Obviously it's dried now, but I'll insert the picture right here. And then this is what it looks like now. Obviously you can see 2 very distinct pink lines. So that is when I sent it to my friends Casey and Julia, and I said, this is not a drill, this is serious, and I need to go and get a digital, because just for my peace of mind, I felt like if I took a digital test and it said the word pregnant, I would be able to register it more and understand that I was in fact pregnant. So Casey and I went to Target. I bought some digital tests and I took one, and obviously, as you guys can see clear as day, it said the word pregnant. And my 2 best friends, Casey and Julia, were the first 2 people that I told, and they were elated. They were so excited for me, and it still felt surreal at that point. So Casey and I had left Target, and she said, you know, maybe you should just call your mom now. I knew I was leaving shortly to go down to Florida, so I knew this was nothing I could hide. Not that I wanted to hide it, I just knew that it was something that was going to come out sooner or later. And Casey really pushed me to just tell my mom in the moment. So I said, okay, you know what, I'm just gonna tell my mom right now. So I gave her a phone call. So I called my mom and I just said, hi, I have something that I need to tell you. And she knew right away. She was like, are you pregnant? And I was like, yeah. And then she called my stepmom's name, and I did not want to tell my stepmom just yet. So I was like, well, don't call her over, but she did. And I was like, hi, I have something to tell you. My stepmom was like, am I gonna be a yaya? Because that's what she wants to be called. And I said yes, and they were both super excited. They want to make sure that this was something that I wanted, and of course I said right away, like, yes, I want this. It was unexpected, it was a surprise, but it was not unwanted. So once they knew that I wanted it, they backed me on that. They were going to support me either way, and so they supported me, and they were so excited. So once I told them, my next challenge was to tell Harris, and like I said, this was not planned, so of course it was going to be just as a surprise to him as it was to me. So he got home from work that day, and obviously I was acting a little strange. It was really hard to keep this in and not say anything to him. And so he sat on the bed, and I had said, you know, I still had not gotten my period, and he said, well, this has happened before, like, you're not pregnant. And I said, no, but I am this time. And he thought I was kidding. And I said, no, I am this time. And of course he was shocked and taken aback, but his response was just like, okay, this is okay. We're gonna get through this and we can do this together. We both knew that we loved each other, and like I said, we were both in a very secure point in our relationship, that we knew everything was going to be okay. So at that point, we then had to tell his parents, and his dad was out of state, so we told his mom first, and we told his dad once he got back in state. And you know, they of course were shocked, just as anyone would be, and it took some time for them to come around to the idea of us having a child, because at this point we only knew it was one, or we only thought it was one. And Harris is significantly older than me. He is 9 years older than me, so he is 30 years old, so he has a job and we are financially secure. So that was one concern that I knew was taken care of. And of course the next concern of his parents was, where are you guys going to live? Because at the moment we are living home with them. So we knew, or we know, that we have to move out in a few months, and that is okay. We are secure in that, and we know we will be able to accomplish that. So then it came time to tell some people. I've only told a handful of friends, and so has he. This is really going to be my big coming out moment. I'm going to tell all my friends once I am done with my first trimester, and then this video will go live. a whole bunch of my family already knows. I told like my grandparents, my uncles, my aunts, and all that kind of stuff. So there are a lot of people that know, but I did want to be safe and make sure I waited until the first trimester was over before I told the majority of my friends and of course the internet. So now I'm going to go into how I found out that it is twins, and I'll show you guys my 2 ultrasounds because I had 2 separate appointments. So once I told Harris and everything that night, I went online and I had to look under my insurance provider and find a doctor that took my insurance. So I did some research over a few days and then I found and chose the OBGYN that I have been going to. And I called them and I asked if I could make an appointment to confirm my pregnancy. And at that point, I had kind of guessed that I was about 5 weeks if I counted based on when I thought I conceived and my last missed period and all that kind of stuff. So I thought I was about 5 weeks. So the appointment was for that following week. So at that point, I thought I would be around 6 weeks. And they said they confirmed pregnancy with an ultrasound. So I went in on the following week after I found out that I was pregnant, and I had my first ultrasound done. And that is the ultrasound where we found out it was twins, or that it could possibly be twins. So let me get those pictures. So how my doctor does it, they have a TV screen in front of you so you can see it. I know some OBGYN offices don't have a TV screen in front of you and they actually don't tell you anything. The technician can't tell you anything. The doctor has to tell you something. So my place is a little different in that respect, that you can physically see what's going on as the ultrasound is happening. So as the ultrasound was happening, she showed us, or I can see on the screen, she confirmed that I was in fact pregnant, but she said, do you see this here? There seems to be 2 empty sacs. So they guessed that I was a lot earlier than I thought I was, and since the 2 sacs were empty, they were unsure whether it was 1 sac or if it was 2, if 1 was going to take or if 2 was going to take. You couldn't really see anything inside them, a tiny piece of yolk maybe, but it was unsure. So this is what that ultrasound first looked like. As you can see, it just looks like 2 black holes. So obviously when she said 2, for some reason I was not all that freaked out. I kind of was really calm in that moment, and it was funny because I stayed at my grandma's after I found out I was pregnant. If you guys remember a bunch of videos back, I was in the Hamptons for a little bit. That was why I just had to really let everything settle back home and let people come to terms with the news, and even myself, I just needed some time to really digest what was happening. And so my grandma had said, like, imagine if it was twins, and I laughed it off and I just thought like that would be crazy if I had 2, but it would also be a big blessing. So when she said there was 2 sacs on the screen, I was just calm. Like, I can't even really remember anything going through my mind with regards to me being scared or anything like that. I was just calm when I found out that it was 2 sacs. And of course Harris was so nervous and shocked. He was like, what are the odds that it's 2? Are you sure that it's 2? What else could it be? Asking the technician a whole bunch of questions about whether she was confident in saying it was 2, and she said she was pretty confident in saying it was 2, but because I was a lot earlier than I thought I was and the sacs were empty, that I would have to come back in a week to confirm if anything is growing in both of the sacs. So we left that appointment, and the only person that I told was twins was my mom. I told her it was a possibility that it was going to be twins, but I did not want her to tell anyone else just in case it was only 1. I didn't want to get people's hopes up, or I didn't want people to think that I was having 2 when I was in fact only having 1. So obviously that was a big shock, but for some reason I just felt very calm and I felt confident. I just feel like God does not put anything into your life that you cannot handle, and that this is the biggest blessing of a lifetime to be blessed with 2 babies. I just think it's amazing, and I was really calm. Harris was of course really nervous, just the thought of having 2 right away. Like I said, this was a surprise pregnancy to even begin with, so to have 2 was even more of a surprise, but he came around to the idea, and the following week I went back and I had another doctor's appointment, and that is when they confirmed that it is 2 babies. So this was my second ultrasound. As you can see, things are growing in both of these sacs. They measured basically the same, so they're both growing on track. So yeah, I'm 21. pregnant with twins. I am due February 16th, but of course, since it is a multiples pregnancy, I can have preterm labor, they can come out early, they can be taken from me early if anything was to happen. Now, I don't know if they're fraternal or identical twins. I probably will be able to tell at my next upcoming appointment based on the placenta, because if the babies, which I have, are in 2 separate sacs, so there is a chance it could be fraternal. If they were just in 1 sac, it would be identical. But since they're in 2 separate sacs, if they were to still share a placenta, they would be identical. And if they had 2 separate placentas, they still would be fraternal. That is what I found through my research, but I don't know if that's entirely correct. So if you have twins, you know someone who has twins, and maybe you can enlighten me on this a little bit more, definitely leave all the information you know down below. But I don't know if they're identical or fraternal. Fraternal and twins do run on my mom's side of the family. Her father had cousins who were fraternal, or so my grandma thinks. She doesn't remember exactly, but identical twins are actually not genetic. And so when I tell people that I'm having twins, they ask me, oh, who in your family has twins? But identical twins are not genetic. It's a completely random mutation and split of the egg right when it's fertilized. So I don't know if they're identical or fraternal, but this is definitely a whirlwind of news. My foot is so asleep right now. So this was definitely a shock, and like I said, even though this was an unplanned pregnancy, Harris and I are both over the moon and ready to tackle this hands-on together. I am currently 11 weeks. I will be 12 weeks on this coming Tuesday, and it is a Thursday, and I have a doctor's appointment on Monday, August 5th. You guys will be seeing this probably a few weeks after that. So today, which is August 1st, I am 11 weeks and a couple of days, and on August 6th, I will be 12 weeks. So just almost done with my first trimester. Like I said, I'm going to do an entire first trimester update to really update you guys on how I've been feeling, and this is kind of why I've really been vlogging and uploading sporadically, because since I'm having multiples, my stomach is growing a lot quicker than if I was just having a singleton pregnancy. And so it's kind of hard to hide in videos if I'm wearing something tight or if I'm in a bathing suit and all that kind of stuff. So I hope you guys understand and now see that is why I've been really slacking in the vlog department and all that kind of stuff. But once this is out in the open and it's on the internet, I'm going to take you guys along for the entire thing. I probably will only do trimester updates, or do my first trimester, my second 20-week, and then my final trimester. I'm not really sure. I don't want to bombard you guys with baby videos, because that's not what my channel was built on. It was built on lifestyle and showing who I am and taking you guys along for that. So I'm still going to be doing that. I'm still going to school. You're still going to get school videos and vlogs and what I eat and hauls and outfits of the weeks and just the same type of videos that I've always been uploading, but I will be throwing in sporadically some pregnancy updates, some pregnancy related videos. Like I said, I have a life update coming your way to kind of update you guys on what's to come now that I am pregnant. And of course, when the babies come, I will be vlogging that like crazy. This is really a good way for my family to still stay engaged and connected in my pregnancy, because if you guys don't know, my parents live in Florida and I'm up here in New York living with Harris, and it's been that way for about a year. So this is a really good way for all my family down in Florida to still stay connected and engaged with my pregnancy. And yes, I'm out of breath. I'll show you guys my stomach really quickly, just in case you guys are interested in seeing what my stomach looks like at 11 weeks with my first pregnancy with twins. So I think that's all I have to say. Obviously, this is a big announcement. I wanted to tell you guys how I found out I was pregnant and how and when I found out it was twins. But everyone I've told thus far in my life is super supportive. If anyone knows me, you know that this is something that I was ready for and built for and born to do, is to be a mom. And all my friends already say that I'm just such a happy, content pregnant person. Like, yes, this is a big shock, and of course towards the end I'm going to get nervous and get antsy and worry, and with twins and possibly having a preterm labor, there's a whole bunch of things to be worried about. But every day I say to myself, like, God, walk alongside me during this pregnancy, help me provide for my babies and nourish them and help them grow into healthy babies and help me be healthy for them. I just really try and repeat that every day and ask God to walk alongside me during my pregnancy so that everything can go as healthily and as planned as possible. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to show you guys my stomach really quick, and then I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.